Well, good afternoon, everybody. You should know me by now. This is Meagan Pinkney. I am founder and CEO of Joseph's Ministry LLC, and I am here with our newest author, Pastor Tish. How are you?
I am great. I'm great.
Good, good, good. So, before we dive into the actual interview, tell the people a little bit about who you are and some of the amazing things that you have going on in your world.
Okay. I am Pastor Tisha. I am out of Wichita, Kansas. I am the founder of A Time of Healing Ministries. And also I have a life and coaching and consulting business called Reset Impact. My heart is to see people find their true identity in Christ and heal from the things that keeps holding them back. Also, I'm married. I'm married to Reginald Neloms. We've been married 30. We've been together 32 years. We've been married 30 years. I have 2 kids and also 4 beautiful granddaughters.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you for sharing. So we are here to talk about your newest and your first book, which is entitled Dealing with the Offense of the Betrayal.
Yes.
That's pretty intense. So tell the people how we came up with that actual title.
Well, I am very excited about this book, Dealing with the Offense of the Betrayal, Healing When Trust is Broken. Coming up with this book was an area that was really real for me. I mean, real pain that I went through, betrayal and different offense. And so writing this book was a real place for me, but it was one of those books that I wanted it to be a healing journal for it and not just a read. You know, I wanted people to be able to journal through that book, find their aha moments as they're reading it, and be able to write it down. But I share pieces of my life in that book, and then also give tools to help people heal from the offense.
Wow. You know, I think everybody, if they're honest, has been through some level of betrayal or offense, sometimes both at the same time. You know, and I commend you for taking time and space to get healed, and we'll talk about that in a moment, and actually writing it down to give back to other people that may be experiencing that in the moment. But the message you had, this is your personal journey. So
yes,
there's something that hurt you to be able to write this down. So, you know, I always tell people, and we always hear it all the time, hurt people hurt people. So, you know, just from conversation and going through your book, you had to get healed first before we can be here and talking about a book. So let's talk about that journey, this healing journey for you that you had to walk through.
Yes, this healing journey that I had to walk through, really my biggest part of it was forgiving. Forgiving the people that betrayed me, that brought offense to my heart, and forgiving them for real. You know, because a lot of times we say, oh, I'm past that, I'm good with that, you know, and then also being able to forgive without losing myself, meaning that if I forgive them, am I overlooking what they did? Am I downplaying what they did? Does it mean that they gain access to my life again? You know, does it mean all of those things? But true forgiveness is for me, not for them. And that's where in my heart is I had to forgive. I mean, the Lord had me write forgiveness letters to people.
Wow.
That was, and then, you know, sometimes we write those letters, but he said, no, you have to send them in whichever way, whether it's through mail, whether it's through text, or whether it's through email. You know, you have to send them out because this is part of the closure of the door that you are actually forgiven. And he said forgiveness with gratitude. You know, because also at the same time, some of these people were they did awesome things in my life too before the betrayal. So I couldn't just be so much on that part. I also had to show gratitude in what they actually did. So for me, it was the forgiveness. It was letting go and letting God.
Wow. Now, thank you for sharing that. And just me being me, I don't think you just woke up one day and decided, you know what, I'm going to forgive. What got you to that point? I know the Holy Spirit can tell you, forgive, but it's a choice.
Yeah.
What made you to really make that decision and say, you know what, I'm not going to be bound anymore by this. I'm not going to be held in a prison. What made you get to that point to decide that you're going to forgive and go through that process?
I think it was a part in there that it's like, sometimes I say God placed me behind the veil for months, like 4 months. He said, I want you to come off of all social media platforms. I want you to come off of everything, and I think I remember at that time I put on my Facebook page, closed for spiritual maintenance, because I had to go through some spiritual maintenance. And, he allowed me to travel and go to a place where I could heal, not be pulled on, not be noticed. But it's like he closed my mouth for a long time so that I can hear what he was saying. A lot of times when we have a lot of noise going on, it can overshadow what he is trying to show us. So he had me close away for a while so that it was just him and I. So I didn't have no misunderstandings. And through the conversations that we had, that we talked, I began to start little by little releasing it, surrendering it, letting it go, placing it in his hand, because I figured that some of it was too bigger than me. So I had to let go and let him and give it to him, and it was times where I would say, Lord, take this away. And he would say, well, I ain't taking it unless you're giving it to me. I'm not going to wrestle you. We ain't going to have tug of war and I'm going to try to take this out of your hands.
Right.
You got to be at a place where you're ready to say, here, Lord, have your way with it. Take it.
Wow. Do you feel like you made the right decision?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I feel good on the inside. Mm-hmm. It's not the outside, it's the inside. I feel whole in my life because I let go and I let all that, no more burden, no more walking around like so heavily burdened by those things.
Right. Wow. I want to ask a question that someone may be thinking. So we talk about dealing with the offense of the betrayal. How do you define offense?
Offense is what I defined it is when you have someone that's close to you, whether it's a friendship, family, ministry, that has literally, for me, took a knife and put it in your back. And the thing about it is you never expected that person to be the one to do that. You never seen it coming, and so from that, that knife, it offended me. It broke me to the core of my heart because I never seen it coming. And I asked the question, did I miss something? Why I didn't see this? But betrayal happens like that. It has no warning signs. It hits you out of left field before you even know it.
Right. Wow. Is this, and I don't know if this is a fair question, but do you think you can avoid offense? Are there things that we can do as individuals to dodge offense, if you will?
Well, I would say for me, everybody is different, is learning not to carry everything on your shoulders, and don't be so blindsided to say, oh, this person will never, ever betray me. Because it'd be the least of a person that will betray you. And sometimes it can be an innocent thing in it, not really knowing that that's what they did, you know. So I would say per se, you just have to be watchful and really study. I mean, now I'm to the point when people come into my life, Lord, why are they here? Because if they came as a reason, I don't want to place them in a season. If they came as a season, I don't want to put them in a lifetime spot. Why are they here? Is it for me or is it for them?
Right. No, that's good. That's good. I can see that being a lessons learned from just living. Right.
Yes.
So even with the book, the wonderful content in the book, who is your targeted audience when you were writing this book, writing your journey? Who did you have in mind?
First of all, I had in mind for those that are carrying pain silently, you know, suffering in silence, you know, but the target audience is for men, women, believers, leaders, and that person that has been wounded from a relationship, a friendship, or even just in ministry.
Wow. So why did you feel like it was a part of your journey to write a book down, to really write down the details? Because how you wrote your book is very unique. So it's not just a book and just telling your story. It's more like you said, a healing journal. So why did you feel like you needed to write this healing journey, this journal for those who are coming behind you?
Okay. I wrote it because I had people in mind to be able to heal. A lot of times when we're going through something, we think that we're the only person in this world that's going through this. Till we begin to start having conversations with other people. And I'm talking about not people that we know, but people we don't know. You know, standing in the grocery store, talking to someone, a stranger, and they begin to just, you know, because they're spilling out hurt, they begin to start sharing, you know, what they're going through, what they experience, you know, and it made me think, you know, I had a lot of aha moments like, well, God, there's a lot of people that is experiencing offense. And, you know, in the book, I really wanted to bring out the offense of the betrayal, you know, because it's the offense that people can't move forward from that keeps them trapped. And so while having these conversations, meeting people, you know, I wanted to put it in a book to be able to help people all around the world, people from all walks of life, be able to find healing and freedom in the area of offense.
Right. No, it's so cool and it's unique how you wrote the book. So you have journal prompts, you have a time of reflection, you have healing prayer. What else? Journal. It's a lot of meat and content, not just reading, but you have space for people to sit, reflect on the situation, to jot down what they really feel. And I think that's important instead of just whizzing by it and say, yep, that was me, and on to the next book, but really take that time to sit with it and feel it and jot down what they're feeling.
Yes, I really wanted people to take their time with this book, you know, because this is them, and this is not a book that you can pass on to someone else, because this is your own healing journal, you know, where you can write in it and you can see how far you've come. And even if you haven't came to a point of healing yet, you know where to go back and work at in there.
Even for the people who read your book, they buy it, which we encourage to do that. They read the book and there's still some residue from the betrayal, from the offense. Are there any encouraging words that you would leave with them to say, hey, this is, I'm speaking from experience? What would you tell them? What would you encourage them with?
Well, I want to say that I've learned, you know, from carrying the fence and the weight and how it made my heart feel, and asking them to be able to get to a place where they can release so they can heal. Because the healing is not for what happened, what took place. It's for them. It's for them. And by healing, and that's why my favorite, your healing matters, and your healing matters always.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a lot of times we feel like, even when it comes to forgiveness, am I going to let them get a pass? Do I overlook what they did? No, you don't, because forgiveness doesn't mean access either. You know, or accept behavior that was not true to you or did you in a certain way. It's to release you. It's to unlock your heart from offense, you know, so that you can move on and be free in you and do the things that God has called you to do. You know, there's things God has called us to do, to walk in, that sometimes when we are walking in hurt and pain, we're so focused on that we're not moving forward in the direction that God told us to walk in.
Wow. That's just like the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
He wants us to not think about doing purpose, right? And walking in purpose.
You keep us bound.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So, can you share with the people that are watching live and those who are watching on the replay, what are some practical things that you had to go through and walk through for your healing? Yes, writing the book, but what are just some practical things that the Lord asked you to do?
Well, a lot of it was, you know, journaling more, you know, because I was a person that it was hard for me to write because I struggled with so many things in my writing that I had to throw away so much paper, you know. So learning to take my time, learning to be still, learning to love on myself, show myself grace, therapy, you know, going to therapy, taking time out to go on walks, pouring into myself, you know, loving on myself. You know, I think for about 4 or 5 months, it was about me, you know, loving on me, pouring into myself, reading, you know, not just always reading the word, but reading things that encourage me. You know, I love affirmations, you know, so speaking life, oh, you know, to myself, you know, that I shall recover, you know, I shall not be bound by this, you know, and this does not define who I am, you know. So it was things like that I had to do to get me to this point.
Wow, no, that's so good, because it makes me think these are things we should be doing anyway. Mm-hmm. Loving on ourselves. We don't have to get to the extreme of trying to get over offense or betrayal to start thinking about, like, oh, I need to affirm myself. You're absolutely correct. We should be loving ourselves as we go anyway. So that just dawned on me, like, wow, we need to do that more. And sadly to say, we don't. We don't, but we do need to do that. I had a thought while you're going through your healing journey. Did that have any effect on your immediate family?
Yes, probably my husband, because he was around me the most.
Okay.
What I was going through, he seen good, bad, and ugly. Right. You know, and I would say, you know, my children too, you know, when they did come around. Now my grandkids, they didn't really get to, you know, they seen what happened, but they didn't get to be around the whole intense part of it because they were children, you know, and so I didn't want to bring them in there. But definitely my husband was a big major part there as far as going through the what I went through and then the healing process.
Gotcha. So it doesn't just affect the individual, it affects those who are around you as well. Exactly. So it is important to get healed. Mm-hmm. For sure. So where can the people buy your book? How can they connect with you on social media?
Yes. So on Facebook, they can find me under Pastor Tisha Neloms. That's my personal page. I also have a Time of Healing ministry. They can find me on that page. And I also have it's called Waiting Seasons group. It's a encouragement group for those that are in waiting seasons. They also can reach out to me on my website, and that's yourhealingmattersbook.com. or they also can email me at yourhealingmatters26@gmail.com.
Nice. This is everything, guys. I mean, if you are finding yourself in a situation where you just need some healing, you need to have something in your hand to help you walk through that healing process, this is your book. Please reach out to Pastor Tisha, contact her, connect with her, buy the book, ask her so many questions, and invite her to your events. Invite her to in places and spaces that need her testimony. Okay, it is definitely important. But Pastor Tisha, before we end, are there any last minute words that you would like to tell the people before we end for today?
I want to say if you are in a place where you're ready to heal, you're ready to apply whatever needs to be applied to heal, I encourage you to get this book. Purchase this book for someone else that you might say, well, that's not me, that's not my story. Purchase it for someone else that you know that needs this healing journey in their lives. And I say, your healing matters always.
I love it. I love it. So we'll make sure to put your socials, your link to buy the book, all that in the comment section so people can have easy access for that. But thank you so much for your time on today. But guys, if you have been listening and you are like, you know what, I need to get started on writing my book, reach out to Joseph's Ministry. This is what we get to do. Okay. So we would love to partner with you on your journey. You can reach out to us at our website at www.josephsministryllc.com. Schedule your free 30-minute consultation call and we can take it from there. So guys, thank you so much for your time. Pastor Tisha, thank you again for this amazing journey. For your yes. And guys, I hope you have a good afternoon and we will talk to you on our next author interview. Have a good day.